Alright, so the UEFA Champions League final group games is done and dusted, and now we know the teams that will be moving to the next stage of the competition, that is the round of 16 and then the other playoffs. But now let's take a look at some of the matches, surprise results that came up. First of all, the game between Real Madrid and then Benfica. I mean, Real Madrid were all expecting them to win this game, but it was unfortunate for them as Benfica took that advantage over them, making sure that Benfica also qualified to the next stage of the competition. But the surprising thing is that there is a possibility that Real Madrid could meet Benfica again in the playoff sessions. This was a perfect birthday gift for Jose Mourinho. He celebrated his 63rd birthday some few days ago prior to this particular match. So it's just going to be a big one for Benfica heading to the knockout stage of the UEFA Champions League. Now, let's talk about Chelsea, because Chelsea also were 3-2 winners over Napoli in the final group game. I mean, Napoli needed a vital win in order to make sure that they qualify to the next round of the UEFA Champions League. But it was unfortunately for them, for Antonio Conte and his men, they failed to make it to the next stage of the competition. So this means that Chelsea will be moving to the next stage of the competition. But let me take you through some of the matches that went in the UEFA Champions League. I mean, Arsenal. Now let's talk about Arsenal, because after their 3-2 win over Kirati Amalfi, they are the only team who have won all 8 games in the UEFA Champions League. I mean, for us now, we've seen them do a couple of magic last season and this season. I'm just hoping that this season Arsenal will be able to win something, looking at the fact that they are top of the Premier League table with 50 points, and now they've topped the UEFA Champions League table with about 24 points, winning all 8 games. Then the Carabao Cup and then in the FA Cup too. So this should be a good one for Arsenal, but I doubt if they are able to go for any UEFA Champions League this season. But let's see how things go for us now in this particular one. Now let's talk about the game between Barcelona and Copenhagen. I mean, we all had hopes that Copenhagen were going to pull out a surprise against FC Barcelona, but it was Barcelona who came out on top in this particular encounter, making sure that they won by 4 goals to 1 in the last group game. But let's look at also PSG. I mean, PSG, PSG hasn't been the PSG that we know a couple of seasons. I mean, they keep on dropping points, despite the fact that they qualified to the next stage. They haven't been the PSG that we know and drawing against Newcastle by a 1-1 draw in this particular encounter. But now let's see what happens. I mean, last season we saw their position in the Champions League. They were about 15th, and then they ended up winning the Champions League. Let's see how they will also be faring. But now let me take you through the group standings of the UEFA Champions League. So at this moment, top 8 teams, they have sealed qualifications to the round of 16, like automatic qualifications. So the first one has to do with Arsenal, Bayern Munich, Liverpool, Tottenham Hotspur, Barcelona, Chelsea, Sporting CP, and Manchester City. So these are the top 8 teams that have made it to the round of that is the next stage, that is a round of 16. But now let's talk about the knockout phase, that is the playoffs. Teams that will potentially meet each other and then will qualify to the round of 16. So one team has to do with Real Madrid. They are on the 9th position. Inter Milan, we have Paris Saint-Germain, Newcastle United, Juventus, a couple of teams, and then Bodo Glimt. I mean, for Bodo Glimt, they won their game against Atletico Madrid away from home at the Wanda Metropolitano. I mean, Bodo Glimt, we've seen the surprises that they had, beating Manchester City by 3 goals to 1, and now winning their game against Atletico Madrid by 2 goals to 1. And so they find themselves in the playoff, just like Benfica. There is a whole lot about this particular UEFA Champions League that will be coming up. That is the playoffs, because some teams could potentially meet each other. There is a possibility Barcelona could meet Chelsea in the playoff session. That is after the playoff. Probably maybe in the round of 16, maybe after the playoff sessions is being played. But let's look at some matches. I mean, Real Madrid, there is a possibility that Real Madrid could meet Inter Milan in the playoffs of the UEFA Champions League. I mean, the playoffs need to be played first, and then the team that qualify will meet the top 8 teams in the round of 16 of the UEFA Champions League. So this is how it is with regards to the permutations in the knockout phase of the UEFA Champions League. Remember, the playoffs draw will be happening this Friday, and hopefully we'll be bringing you all the updates here on Our Media Sports on YouTube and all our social media channels. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channels. And my name is Amos Mama Boy.